Welcome back everybody to the Isle. Now, here we are going to cover the Dilo's damage and bleed. Now, I'm just on my own over here just going around on the world by myself, so no interruptions. Just going to walk around and talk about all the different damages. I'm going to pull up the Dilo stats right now, how long it takes to grow, its weight, health, healing, damage, and bleed. Now, as you can see, it has 50 bleed. So this Dilo can do a lot of bleed. Now the reason why it's 50, it doesn't give you 50 bleed. It's because we got to do our whole little math and figure it all out. But 50 because your multipliers are going to be so small. So first up, the one you're probably going to be the most cautious about is the Utah, which is like on par with y'all. You're basically the same dino, just the Utah's a bit more powerful and faster, but with less bleed. And you can turn better. No, I think y'all turn about the same without trot. But you're basically a little Giga, and picture you are the tiny version of the Giga, and the Utah's the tiny version of the Reds. They're basically the same thing, just one has better stats in different things. So with the Utah, it has 1,000 weight, 1,200 health. When we multiply it against ourselves, we get a 1.2 multiplier, giving us 180 damage per bite, which is pretty low, but we give it 60 bleed. Now that is what kills a Utah, is that 60 bleed. In order to kill a Utah, you gotta bite it 6.66 times. That's the straight up kill it though. That's not including any bleed and running around. So you'll probably actually kill it in probably like 4 to 5 bites. But if I was you, bite it once and run. 60 bleed is gonna shred a Utah's health with it running. Now, can you get away from a Utah? That's the question. Depends on how good your skin is and how good you are at running. But straight on for the berry. Berry's going to be that stronger version of y'all. Just not as much damage. But with the berry, has that 1450 weight and health. And we're looking at a 0.82 multiplier. So we're already getting down below a full 1 multiplier. So as you can see, that's what I'm talking about. Your multipliers are super low. That's why your bleed's so high. We do 124.13 damage to it, and we give it 41 bleed. Again, with these small tiers, the bleed is ridiculous. All we need to really do is just bite it a couple times, and that's it. That bleed is off the charts. And they're either going to die from running, or they're going to be sitting for a really long time. And as long as you stay in the vicinity, just run in and finish them off with one last bite. The Carnos are kind of what you got to watch out for, because they can catch you, they can keep up with you, and just they hurt a lot. So you got to watch out for some Carnos. But if you can get all of it with their weight and health, we get a 0.55 multiplier, and we get to do 82.94 damage. We're already doing less than 100 damage now, and we already barely got to tier 3. So you have to be careful with playing Dilo. Pretty much everything's a one-shot on you though. Carno's not, but once you get into the Aloe, that's when it starts one-shotting you. But with the Carno, we give it 27.5 bleed. And it's gonna, I don't think I said, but for the berry, I'm just looking at it. The berry, it takes 11.68, and right here for the Carno, 26.16 bites to actually kill the Carno straight up. If it was just standing there AFK and we went up and we started biting it, that's what I'm talking about. That's why you need to use this bleed and let them run to death. You don't want to just sit there and try and expect to get the kill, because your damage is minimal, but that bleed, maximum. Straight into the Serato. It has that 2250 weight and health. We get a 5.3 multiplier. We're going to do 80 damage, but we do give a whopping 26.5 bleed. We're still up there. We're still good in that bleed damage. Moving straight on to the Aloe. The Aloes, dangerous. Dangerous games messing with Aloes. Their ambush is so fast. But if you can't get a couple bites on them, we get a 0.42 multiplier. So we're only dishing out 63 damage a bite and 21 bleed. It would take 44.44 bites to kill it. Straight up. Again, these are straight up, not including any bleed damage, no nothing. So you have to kind of think of it in your own way. Like, okay, it's been running a lot. I've given it a lot of bleed. It's hurting. It's hurt. It's hurt. I've bit it 3 times and it's ran a lot. That's what you got to kind of think about yourself. But use this as like, okay, if it's going to take 44 bites to kill it, and I've bit it 6 times, I'm going to have to run around for about 10 minutes before this thing gets close to death. It takes a long time to kill like these apexes and everything as well. Moving on down to the Shuko now. Shukos, now we're starting getting into those middle top tiers. With that Shuko, 3600 weight and health, we get a 0.33 multiplier. We're only doing 50 damage and only 16.6 bleed. And you're a one-shot. At this point, you're one-shot for all these things. And Shukos can turn on a dime, so you have to be careful. But if you can get at least 1 bite, that's 16 bleed it has to deal with. And that bleed can stack up pretty damn fast. But to outright kill it, 72 bites. Ridiculous. The acro. Now, you probably won't see too many acros. So, yeah. But if you see an acro, definitely go for it. Acros heal so poorly. So you can easily mess with some acros. You only get that 0.25 multiplier. So you're only doing a quarter of your damage, which is 37.57. But that 12.5 bleed is a lot for an acro. And it is going to hurt the acro a lot. 172.49 bites to straight up kill an acro. Again, no bleed included. So, take it as you see it. Onto the Rex. Now this is what people play Dilo for. This is why people play Dilo. To go around and kill all the Apex Rexes that they can find. If you have 3 Dilos, even just 1 Dilo, and you see a lone Rex, even a pair of Rexes, they're always being messed with by Dilos. Dilos try to do everything to kill them. And this is why. You only get a 0.2 multiplier, and you're only doing 31 damage. But you do 10 bleed a bite. 10 bleed, that is still a lot to a Rex. A Rex with 10 bleed every bite, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 that's 40 bleed. And that, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 40 bleed in that short amount of time. You stacked up. And now that Rex has to deal with it. It's not going to be able to. That thing's going to just walk itself to death. Now, on the vice versa, if it wants to get away from you, it should just log out. Because honestly, it's not going to get away from you. With 31 damage though, you're not really hurting it. So if it was a smart Rex, or if you are playing a Rex and you like playing Rex, log out. If you're on like a no-rules server and you're being hunted by Dilos, sit there, log out. Let them stack up as much bleed as you want. You don't die from bleed anymore. Let them stack it up and you log out. Now, right with the Giga is slightly harder because it is stronger. Not stronger, but has more maneuverability. And you only get a 0.18 multiplier on it. We're only doing 27.9 damage when you only give it 9 bleed. Now, Gigas are good at resisting bleed, but don't let that discourage you. They will take bleed damage and they will walk themselves to death. Oh, I didn't even say. With the Rex, 209 bites, and with the Giga, 245 bites. Massive amounts of bites, so that's what I'm saying. Don't count on you yourself doing damage. Let that bleed do the work for you. With the Spino, with all its big digits of 9,071 weight and health, this is where your bleed is going to shine. Obviously, it's a one-shot if it gets you, but we only get a 1.3 multiplier, so nothing crazy. We only do 19.84 damage, but we give it 6.5 bleed. 6.5 bleed's pretty good. That can stack up very fast, especially on something so big and that needs to move. But it would take us 457.2 bites if we did no bleed and we wanted to straight up kill it. Now, before we move on to the herbivores, because I keep forgetting this damn dino, the Alberto. The Alberto, 3,000 weight, 3,000 health, you know, same. We're going to get a 0.4 multiplier. We do 60 damage and 20 bleed. I do not recommend messing with Albertos, though. They are so fast and speedy boys. They'll mess you up. But if you do want to mess with them, 20 bleed stacks up pretty quickly, so you can definitely mess them up. You'll need about 50 bites to kill them, though. On with the herbivores now. With the Dryo, super easy. Easy kill. I mean, if you can catch them, of course. But Dryos do like nothing. 700 weight, 500 health. We actually get a 1.71 multiplier, so you're actually doing more damage for once. You do 257.14 damage, instant kill, and you give it 58 or 85.5 bleed, which, I mean, they're not even gonna feel the bleed because you just kill them in one bite. Now galleys though, galleys are crazy fast, and probably what's gonna like mess you up the most. Not mess you up the most, but are gonna want to like be running around you and swinging at you. Because they do it to Utahs. I don't see why they wouldn't do it to you. But 1000 weight, 1000 health, super simple. You get a 1.2 multiplier. So we actually do 180 bites. We give them 60 bleed as well. Crazy amounts of bleed. But to outright kill it, 5.55 bites. So you're looking at 3 to 4. I roughly want to say 3 bites. If you can bite it once, probably about 3 bites by the time you get all the bites in. Because it's going to be sprinting and losing a lot of health very fast. Packies are your speed. They can keep up with you and they hurt. They really hurt. But for you, you're going to want to at least bite them once. You get a 9 or a 0.92 multiplier. So we do 138.46 damage and we give it 46 bleed. Take 9 bites to kill them. So think of that. Letting them bleed to death, biting them 9 times. They'll kill you before you can get those 9 bites in. Definitely let them bleed to death. Do your best to just bite them once and get out of there. Granted, they are just as fast as you, so you have to be careful. Now with the Mayas are scary cows. I wouldn't mess with Mayas. Mayas or Diablos I would not want to mess with. But if you want to mess with them, here we go. They got that 2868 weight and health. You get a 0.41 multiplier. So you're dishing out 62.76 damage. 20.5 bleed. That bleed though. 45 bites. 45.69 nice bites to kill them. But you're not going to see that because that bleed's coming in. So you'll probably get them about 40 bites. 40 bites if you're going to like try and fight them and ass ride them. But with the Diablo, I do not recommend messing with Diablos ever. Ever in your life should you mess with the Diablo. Unless it's sitting down and you know you can get to it. But 3250 weight and damage, or weight and health, sorry. You're looking at a 0.36 multiplier, so 55.38 damage. 18 bleed. And it would take you about 59.68. Not as nice damage or bites to outright kill him. Oh, I found my prey. Look at him just calling there. Let's go get him. So I bit it once. Obviously these things aren't gonna fight back. But I'm pretty sure I gave it so much bleed. I don't know the stats for an Ava. I'd have to look it up. Maybe I'll do that one day. Stats of an Ava. I don't know if it'll be playable again. I miss playing as the Ava though. Down it goes. Easy kill though. But if we're gonna go on to the Para, Para's a beast. In its paddles, one shot. But the headbutts, not so bad. But we get a 0.33 multiplier against them. We only get to do 50 damage, but we give them 16.6 bleed. Paras can deal with bleed decently good, but bleed is bleed. It's gonna hurt, and they're gonna be out of commission for a while. 72 bites to outright kill one though, if that's what you're planning. Dairy, oh gosh, do not mess with the dairy ever, ever, ever. That thing will just slice and dice you. Sure, you can probably get a couple bites in, but more than likely you're gonna be super impatient, and it can sit or it can attack while it sits. So when it's sitting down and you try to run for its face, it can stand up and attack instantly. Just slap you right there with its claws. But 4536 weight and health. We get a 0.26 multiplier, so we're only dishing out 39.68 damage and 13 bleed. Theories cannot heal for shit. So if you do get a bite, Just be satisfied with the one bite. Let it be the one bite and let that thing bleed to death. 13 bleed is a lot for a Theory to deal with. So please, let it bleed. So following after the Theory, we got a Stego with its 48 and 83 weight and health. We only get a 0.24 multiplier. So we're only dishing out 36.30. Got tongue twisted. 36.86 damage and 12 bleed. See, the bleed's just going down little by little. But 12 bleed's still a lot for a Stego, but I don't know. I don't like dealing with things that attack with the tail. Stegos, Ankies, and the Kama. I don't like dealing with them. I don't know why. I just don't. That's just me. But if you do want to mess with them, 132.46 bites you need to do to straight up kill one. With the Anki, it's a bigger beast. 54, 43 weight and health. We're going to get a 0.22 multiplier this time. 33 damage and 11 bleed. So, again, slowly going down. This one would take you 164.93 bites to kill an Anki. So that's why it's best to just let him bleed, man. Like I'm saying here, just let him bleed. Trike. 8,300 weight, 8,200 health. 1.4 multiplier. So we're only doing 21.68 damage. You are doing nothing to this thing in damage, but you do give it 7 bleed. Here you're not in the double digits, sadly, but 7 bleed is roughly a good amount. 2 bites makes it 14, so on, so on. So be careful with your bites on a trike, though, because it would take you 378.22 bites to kill a trike, and that's not going to happen before it swings and hits you at least once. So make sure that thing takes that bleed damage before you try and go in there and be a hero. Okay, sorry, with the trike we're actually doing 21 damage. Sorry, I know I said point whatever, but it's just flat 21. Sorry, I had looked at that and I was like, huh, something doesn't seem right. I always mess up something. But on with the Shant. The Shant, 11,793 weight. Everybody wants to take this beast on. And health, sorry. Everyone wants to take this beast on. If you see a lone Shant is pretty much dead. Especially with a broken leg, that thing's dead. But if you're a single Dilo and you want to mess with one, by all means, go ahead. But you get a 0.1 multiplier. You only do 15 damage. 15 damage to 11,000 health. But you get 5 bleed. So bite it 5 times, 25 bleed, let that thing deal with it after that. Just remember, only 15 damage. Don't expect to sit there and be like, this is going to be the final hit. I know this is going to be the final hit. No. You're looking at like a 20 to 30 minute battle with the Shant. Unless that thing starts sprinting for its life, you're looking for a long fight. When you're playing the Dilo, you're playing the long game. And the long game you shall play. Hunt these things at night, do what you can at night. A Kama? I don't ever recommend messing with the Kama as a Dilo because all it tramples. By the time you get to its feet, it'll just run you over and trample you to death. I know somebody wanted me to cover the Kama's damage, and I shall go over it. And I know I said I probably won't do another damage calculations until the recode, but I don't know how long that recode's going to take. Like they said, they still not even out yet. But with the Kama, 12,000 weight, 12,000 health, we still get that 0.1 multiplier. It's pretty much the same thing as the Shant, because it's just a couple numbers off. But you're basically doing 15 damage, and you're basically giving it 5 bleed. Oh, damage or bites for Shant. Sorry, I was just looking at it now. 772.80, and for a Kama, 800. Do not mess with the Kama. You are playing the extremely long game with the Kama, because the Kama heals 0.5 bleed a minute. If you bite a Kama once, it has to wait 10 minutes to heal all that. So every bite is 10 minutes to a Kama. You are playing the long game with that Kama to heal. So sure, by all means, go bite it. Wait, try it. Maybe it's not paying attention and it won't trample you. Or if you can get that nice little bite, by all means do it. That's 10 minutes. Every bite is 10 minutes that you mess up that Kama if it's going to sit. It's not going to sit. It's going to be worse. But that covers it for the Dilo here. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this better, me just kind of explaining the game, or not the game, but the bleed and bite mechanics, while just kind of exploring the map, just walking around, showing off the dino and the little skin I picked out for it. Let me know if this is what y'all prefer, or if y'all prefer me actually going around in a deathmatch server and fighting people, or just talking about it in a deathmatch server like I did with the Giga. You just watch people mess around in the center. Let me know what you guys want. And thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.